Hi, everyone, and welcome to our ConnectWise Business Management live stream, where we are going to recap all of the innovation from quarter one of 2024. Before we jump in, I would love to introduce ourselves. My name is Jen Six. I am a product marketing manager for business management.
And I'm Jennifer Ugochukwu. I'm a software training consultant here on the education team.
Excellent. And so we are so excited, per usual, to be able to share with you all of the exciting things that we've done in the quarter. And if you're wondering what exactly are we talking about in a business management recap, these are the solutions that we will be discussing today. So if you are a user of all or some, be sure to stick around. We'll be talking about ConnectWise PSA, Sidekick, CPQ, Bright Gauge, IT Boost, Smileback, Service Leadership, and WisePay. So there's a lot of goodness for us to jump into here today.
All right, let's get us started with some exciting new innovations that we see here in the form of our PSA reimagination screens. So for our cloud partners, you'll get modernized reimagined screens that also give you access to new features. For example, for our projects reimagined, we have the new project Kanban board that allows you to dynamically see all of the various project tickets and their different statuses and those dependencies. It's easy to get a high level overview of where your projects are with the project Kanban board. Also reimagined is the project work plan as well as the project Gantt chart. So if you enable these project reimagination screens, you'll get access to these great new features. We also have procurement reimagination. So all of those procurement screens you're familiar with, such as the purchasing screen, the purchase order screen, as well as the inventory management screens, all of those have been reimagined with this new user interface. But we also have new features with PSA reimagination for procurement, such as the change order screen that allows you to track changes in those purchase orders. So I highly recommend using those PSA reimagination screens. We also have the new feature coming out that I'm going to show you in just a moment that allows you to require specific fields on service boards. So these are for those standard fields that you have in those service tickets. You can make them required fields based on the service board. And we can do that, as you can see here, by first navigating to the system setup tables and enabling this specific feature using the Managed Labs. So you'll find in the Managed Labs list the required standard fields on service boards and just mark that as active. So then when you're in the setup tables for custom fields, for that ticket pod, you'll be able to see those standard fields such as the subtype. You can click that field and make this required. So this is really useful if, for example, you have some issues having your service teams fill out those key fields that are required to easily dispatch and deliver services to your customers. Just make that one step easier because, for example, some of these fields you might need if those are those service boards, but if you have internal boards, you might have different fields that you want filled out each time. So we know the great thing about PSA is that those service boards can be used for many different reasons. So whether it's an internal board or a service board that you use to track customer requests, you can have those fields required based on your needs. So I love that customization, don't you, Jen?
Oh, absolutely. And to your point, being able to specify which service board you're actually requiring those on is huge. You've had the ability to say you want it across all of them, but now we can get super tailored and customized to your business and ensure you're tracking the right data in the right spot. So we love it.
All right, so moving on to some other exciting things that have come out for PSA is, of course, Sidekick for PSA, which is our AI-powered tool that allows your teams to get access to the information they need to solve your customers much faster. So here we can see that we have the ConnectWise Sidekick for Teams bot. So ConnectWise has partnered with Microsoft to deliver this incredible integration where you can integrate your PSA instance with Microsoft Teams. So where your teams typically chat and communicate and get information in terms of their day-to-day communications internally, well, they can also have that ConnectWise PSA information all in one place. So instead of having to navigate to multiple screens or have multiple windows open, just do it all from one place that you use all the time, like Microsoft Teams. So here we have the Microsoft Teams spot integrated with PSA. And as soon as you log in, you can get information about your day, your calendar, your tickets, and much more. So not only is it for one particular team, like not just for service teams, but also for your sales teams as well, because you can get information about sales, finance, quotes, and more. So imagine if your teams are on the go and they just want to quickly check in with the system or their calendar or their duties for the day in PSA, they can with the Microsoft Teams spot. And there is much more you can do with this team spot. So I highly recommend using that QR code and checking out more about ConnectWise Sidekick for PSA. We also have for PSA the procurement outstanding by vendor, which allows you to quickly identify outstanding procurement orders by vendors via the team spot. So we all know procurement is a huge part of the sales handoff because it can determine when we can initiate service delivery and initiate those agreements and get that recurring revenue with those contracts we have with our customers. So getting those orders correctly tracked with our vendors is that much easier with the ConnectWise Sidekick for Teams Bot used for procurement.
Yeah, and with ConnectWise Sidekick for PSA being such a new ConnectWise offering, I just want to take a second to talk through some of the other cool things it does. They didn't come out in Q1, but not too far before that. So if you're not familiar with ConnectWise Sidekick for PSA, the team spot, as Jennifer just chatted through, is incredible for everyone in your org. They can access data points that they would need on the go. There's also baked in Sidekick into PSA. So a ticket assistant pod exists that can give possible resolutions, summarize tickets, help you write responses to customers. So it spans your whole org. There's so much goodness with ConnectWise Sidekick for PSA that anyone can benefit from. So definitely check that out. We've got the site QR coded here. There's an on-demand demo you can check out, but we love the power of AI, and we love to say, AI is not going to replace humans, but humans with AI will replace humans without it. So don't fall behind on the AI journey here. And speaking of AI and hyperautomation and all the things that will make your business so much more efficient, we are so excited. We have brought Automation Nation back. You may have seen that it was back earlier this year. We're bringing it again as a pre-day event to Automation Nation. That's happening in June. So we would love to see you there. It's an amazing event with hands-on training, lots of networking opportunities to really take advantage of all the things that ConnectWise is doing to hyper automate your business and bring artificial intelligence to it. So certainly check that out. You'll notice lots of QR codes throughout because there's just so much goodness to share. And another QR code, as I mentioned, it is a pre-day event for IT Nation Secure. So IT Nation Secure is also coming up June 3rd through the 5th in Orlando. It is the premier cybersecurity event. So absolutely, if you have a cyber practice in your business, worth checking out. And we can't wait to see you there.
All right. I love those in-person events because they're great opportunities to connect with other TSPs and MSPs and network and see what else can be done internally to drive success. So I love those events.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into some other Q1 innovations in business management like CPQ. So the CPQ guided selling feature is available now from Q1, and it allows you to easily create quoting tracks for your sales team in CPQ that guides your sales teams to accurately quote for your customers. So regardless of what product offerings you have to sell to customers, and regardless of the tenure of those sales reps, we know we want our sales team outselling and less time navigating the system or building out these dynamic complex quotes. We want them to spend more time selling and talking about our brand and our products, less time in the system. So with guided selling, we can achieve that. You can create these sales tracks that allow your teams to easily create and deliver those quotes to customers. So I highly recommend turning on this feature in CPQ and checking it out. It helps your sales team spend more time with your customers so your customers can say yes to that new contract or to that new product you want to share with them. We also have in CPQ quote search list export. So, with all of these different quotes being published and delivered to your customers, you want to gain business insights into the different types of quotes that lead to the most business generated. You might want to perform dynamic reports. So, you can easily export the quote list search and then run reports or view those quotes in other formats outside of CPQ. So, it just allows you to get more control over your data and more insight into your data. So I highly recommend checking out that new feature as well in CPQ.
Awesome.
All right, so let's just go over quickly how to set up that guided selling. So it's very simple. So in the CPQ settings, just navigate to organization setup and edit your particular user and make sure that whichever user you want to set up these guided selling tracks has the guided selling administrator checkbox enabled, and save that user setting change. And then from these settings under guided selling setup, you'll be able to see all of those sales tracks that you can create. So just make sure if you're an admin that all of your sales managers are able to go into CPQ and create these sales tracks so that other members on the sales team can take advantage of this feature. Again, it is that feature that allows your teams to more easily create quotes. So spending less time in the system to build those beautiful dynamic quotes that accurately display the products you want to sell to your customers. So I highly recommend checking this feature out.
Yeah, and I think one of the most exciting things as a user is that we've released this, but we are going to keep iterating on it, and you'll see even more innovation coming into our guided selling as the year goes on. But absolutely take advantage of it now. For Bright Gauge, we've had some really exciting things happen. So the first that you see playing on the screen is we've entered early access for what we're calling proactive notifications. So this screen that you're seeing, because it's early access, very likely that perhaps some of the layout might change, but we are testing this with some partners right now. And essentially, it's a way for you within Bright Gauge to say, hey, I need to be alerted more so than a dashboard updating when some threshold is passed from my gauges. So maybe we want to know when tickets have gone X amount of time without being assigned. Like in this case, new and unassigned tickets. We want to know when that exceeds a threshold. You can see here, we can actually set that up, and that can notify you whether you're in Microsoft Teams or email, and Slack is coming really soon. So we're super excited about this. Again, this is in early access. So if you don't see it, that would be why, but we're working on getting that more generally available. We've also released a new data set for ConnectWise PSA Cloud partners, and that is the agreement recap data set. So this QR code on the screen, if you scan that, will take you directly to all the details about that data set and what is available by default, but you can pull that data set into your dashboards now, so get even more insights into your agreement recaps. And additionally, I wanted to call out that custom fields for contacts, invoices, sales orders, and time entry data sets are also available to be pulled into your Bright Gauge reporting. So now you can get even more specific and ensure that you're tracking the details you want that you've customized and set up. We've also made it so that if you are an on-premises ConnectWise PSA partner and using Bright Gauge, if you are moving to the ConnectWise PSA Cloud, we've made it so that those customizations that you've set up and worked so hard on for your Bright Gauge instance are not lost. So we've spoken to ConnectWise partners who had concerns about that and moving to the cloud, but we've remedied that. So if that was something that was perhaps keeping you from moving to the cloud, just know that we have resolved that. It might be a good time to take a look. There are so many benefits of being on the ConnectWise PSA cloud. So absolutely check this out if this is of interest to you. We're really excited to be able to bring this to our Bright Gauge partners.
All right, on to IT Boost. And I really love IT Boost because it's that one integrated platform where you can not only store internal knowledge base articles that are crucial for your teams to deliver services to customers, but you can store backup data, those one time passwords. And IT Boost is so easy to set up with PSA because you can do one click onboarding. And with IT Boost and PSA integrated, your technicians or internal teams can get that key information about configurations and much more to easily solve for the customer. So ID Boost is such a great tool to use overall, but I know it can be difficult to maintain those internal knowledge base articles. So you, of course, want your teams to spend more time interacting with customers and less time documenting all of those processes. But we know that documentation is so important in terms of standardizing and simplifying service delivery as your business scales. So with this new IT Boost feature, it's in early access, it's Sidekick for IT Boost. So Jen and I already talked about Sidekick for PSA, but we have it for IT Boost. So this is an AI powered feature in IT Boost that allows you to quickly generate those internal knowledge base articles. So, leveraging the power of AI, you can more quickly create those internal processes. Document your internal process so that at the touch of a finger, all in one location, your internal teams have all the information they need to solve for customers quickly. So, spend less time writing those articles and use AI.
That is the takeaway, right? We want to be more efficient, and I think AI, that gets us there.
All right, so we also have some interesting and exciting updates for Smileback. So, of course, with all of the utilizing all of these great new features to deliver and solve for our customers, we want to be able to actually measure how our customers feel about the services they received. And with Smileback, you can do that, but we've also enhanced that with in-app benchmarking. So not only can you get your CSAT and NPS scores displayed easily and with all of these great graphs and reporting tools using Smileback, but you can compare your CSAT and NPS scores to over 1,500 MSP partners. So see how you stack up against your peers and other MSPs in the industry. So it's a great way to not only measure your internal success, but see how you're doing in terms of the industry as a whole. And another great update for Smileback is the Global Client Experience Dashboard. So it's been completely overhauled so that those CSAT, NPS, and project survey data are more easily visible all in one place. So, of course, we want those key metrics in your face at the touch of a finger as soon as you get into Smileback so you can then create the best internal processes or new business decisions that help your company grow and better solve for customers. So I really recommend checking out some of these new benchmarking and dashboard features in Smileback.
Yeah, and I think we talk about it a lot, but customer experience is really the number one differentiator in the market for our TSP partners. So really having those insights and understanding where you can optimize and where you can improve is so beneficial. And if you don't have Smileback currently, but are intrigued by the new enhancements and innovations and CSAT tracking, we do offer a free 14-day trial of Smileback. You can get that right from that QR code on the Smileback website. And if you are an existing ConnectWise PSA partner, the integration is really easy to set up and one that will take limited time and you won't regret. So check that out if you have not heard of or used Smileback yet. We've had some exciting, really cool stuff come out from service leadership. So in your SL Index solution, there is a brand new budget pro forma tool, and it is designed so that you can budget and make better financial decisions in your business so that you can continuously see that financial improvement and ultimately increased company value. So this solution, again, is in the SL Index, and it is so well thought out. And if you've ever seen anything from SLI, it is a beautiful thing. They are so prescriptive and so just insightful when it comes to growing your profits and growing company value. So absolutely wanted to call that one out. And then another huge thing that came out of service leadership, and you'll notice this every year, is we put out a couple of reports every year. And recently we've released the annual compensation or remuneration report. And it is a wealth. I'm talking a lot of information, anything you could be looking for about the compensation of a lot of over 50 common positions in TSPs. So if you're really looking to understand what the norm is in the industry and where you are sitting within that data, absolutely check that out. You can use that QR code to get to download the executive summary of the report, and then there is a full report available to purchase. But that executive summary has a lot of good stuff in it, so strongly encourage you to check that out. And then we will wrap up our Q1 recap with a look at WisePay. In Q1, we released an innovation that will allow you to actually see a canceled payment reason really easily. So you can see the reason and who it was canceled by directly within your merchant account. So it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to go digging to understand why something may not have gone through. Bring that data right to the forefront so you can easily find that. And we have, it's coming in Q2, but I had to put it on this slide to let everyone know we have a really, really awesome enhancement innovation coming from the WisePay team, and it spans ConnectWise CPQ, WisePay, and ConnectWise PSA to automatically create down payments when a quote is paid via order porter using WisePay. And that will be available for WiseSync WisePay as well as WisePay for PSA. But it is really a game changer, because accepting those prepayments and having to manually reconcile the payment and create a down payment and do all the things was really kind of burdensome. And a lot of people we found just weren't even accepting upfront payments because of the pain that came along with it. So we are, excited isn't the word, but I will use it because I can't think of a better one. We are so excited to bring that to you and show you this. So on May 8th, we are diving into this innovation and really highlighting all of its power. So we would love to see you there on May 8th. You can register at that QR code. And this screenshot's just a down payment, but it was automatically created by this innovation.
I think excited is a great word to use for those WisePay updates. I'm very excited for those.
Yes, so I want something bigger, but it'll do.
Okay, so we just wrapped up all of those amazing Q1 updates for business management solutions, but be on the lookout for exciting new features in Q2. So for PSA, Round Robin already came out last year, but there's more coming to Round Robin. So there will be skills-based round robin ticket scheduling. So of course, we want to automate dispatching and make sure the right tickets get to the right people as soon as possible so we can meet those service ticket SLAs. So there's nothing better than using an automated dispatching tool. So be on the lookout in Q2 for skill-based round robin. So it just makes it even that much more important that your teams are updating their account profiles in PSA to include all of their amazing skills that they're getting over the years. So in CPQ, we also have in early access for Q2 Reimagined Quote Editor. So you might have seen this at IT Nation or some of those other events like Jen mentioned, but CPQ will have a reimagination to the prepare content screen in the form of a see what you get is what you see editor. So instead of those various quote tabs that determine the layout of those quotes, your sales teams will easily be able to just drag and drop different text boxes, images, and content directly into those quotes. So of course, we talked about guided selling updates, but imagine how much easier this quote reimagined editor will be in terms of making it easy to deliver those beautiful quotes to your customers that accurately represent the products you sell. So I'm very, very much looking forward to this new CPQ feature in Q2. And also, not to forget, in CPQ, we also have the new quote header being released. So every part of CPQ that you interact with, especially when creating quotes, is getting that reimagined look. So I'm so happy to see these changes coming to CPQ. Okay, and Sidekick also is going to have great updates in Q2. So Sidekick for PSA will have the access via toolbar option available. So from more places, you can easily access that those AI powered features in PSA using Sidekick directly from the toolbar. So imagine how useful that will be, having Sidekick and being able to leverage it on any screen at any time instead of going to search for specific pods on specific screens. So another Q2 update we have is for unified billing intake. Of course, the unified billing intake is a part of our business management solutions, even though it lives in ASIO. So from here, we will get alerts, notifications, and audit trails. So when you are using your unified billing intake and preparing to transfer all of that data to your PSA agreements as additions, you don't want to have any delays from some data that might be out of sync or a company that's not active and having some sync errors. Instead, you can proactively resolve those unified billing intake sync issues by getting those alerts, notifications, and more audit trails to have more visibility to make sure your data sync has fewer errors each and every time, and that you're not spending a lot of time at the end of the month trying to quickly resolve these errors and get those invoices sent out to customers. So unified billing intake is really exciting. I highly recommend you check it out.
Yeah, thank you for that. We have a couple more things that'll be coming out through Q2. So we talked about the compensation report from SLI, but you will soon see the annual profitability report. And that is going to be a report that helps you understand the profitability of top performing TSPs throughout the world. So a lot of great insights and a lot of amazing learnings come out of that report. We'll also be adding in value creation performance charts on the SLI side. So really giving you some visibility and the ability to visualize how effectively you're building value in your business. So that is going to be huge for those looking really to grow the business, and maybe even if you're preparing for an exit, giving you that insight into that value you've created. And then a couple new and improved integrations for BrightGauge. So you'll see an upgraded Veeam integration coming in Q2. So Veeam Console V6 will be able to display data in BrightGauge, and then we will also be adding an Acronis Cloud integration. So if you're using Acronis for backup, we will be able to visualize your backup information through BrightGauge. And then the last bit here is SmileBack automation. So we're making it within SmileBack really easy to set up customized automation to follow up with customers after they leave their feedback. So whether that's good or bad, we can set that up within SmileBack with this and make sure that they're getting the right communication, completely automatic. And we must give you other options. We love seeing you every quarter on the live stream, but we have to give you other options to stay connected to this innovation throughout the year and at any point when you're just curious, what is the business management team working on? So this first QR code is a brand new page in the ConnectWise University that is designed exactly to do just that. It is a comprehensive look at all of the most exciting things that ConnectWise Business Management has either recently released or stuff that we're working on. So we absolutely want to showcase that and keep you connected to what we're doing. So check that out. We update that. Would love if you could have a look and hopefully find it valuable. We've also got monthly innovation webinars. So every single month, all of the business units at ConnectWise, so that is your business management, unified monitoring and management, the platform, as well as cyber, get together and bring on product leaders so that they can share with you the innovation that they're working on that month. So it's a great opportunity to connect with those product leaders and really get to ask them questions, see what they're working on. And we do that every single month. And then that last QR code on this slide is your roadmap. So if you just want to bookmark that or pin it in your browser, you can always have a look at what we are planning on working on and when we are expecting those things to be released. So there's a lot of filtering. You can look at business management, unified monitoring and management, cyber, all within that roadmap. So certainly check that one out for all the excitement that's coming from all the pillars of ConnectWise. And then we have a few more here for you because we want to give you options. We've got release notes. So, of course, as we are releasing new things to you, we want to make sure you're enabled to use them. So, the release notes there is exactly what it sounds like. We've also got the virtual community, which, if you have not joined yet, strongly, strongly encourage you to get in there because you can network with your peers. You can talk to ConnectWise colleagues, the product team. We're all in there chatting away. And you might have noticed some of these things that we're talking about are in early access. And if you were wondering, how do I get on the cutting edge of this innovation and become a part of early access? We do all of that through the virtual community. That's where we are asking for those volunteers. So if that is something you're interested in, that is a place you want to be. Even if it's not, though, great place to talk about what's happening in your business, what's happening in your solutions, and chat with experts who would be able to help point you in the right direction. And then the last thing before I turn it back over to Jennifer is a quarterly roadmap webinar that we do with Jake Varghese, who is our executive vice president and GM of business management. And he is so inspiring and just so passionate about everything that we're doing. It is one you won't want to miss. And the ability, again, to interface with him is incredible. So we hope to see you at that webinar. We have one coming up. I believe it's next week. So scan that QR code the most timely and get registered for that. And we'll see you there.
All right, so we know that we gave you tons of information, and you might be so excited to implement this in your own system. Just know that you're not alone. We have tons of resources for you in the ConnectWise University. You know, the university has had a new update and it looks so great with this new user interface and all of these new videos and playlists that you have access to. Just so you know, if you're on the university homepage, click that menu icon and check out the new LMS video library. We have playlists and more that you can use to get all of the information you need to implement these exciting new features in your system. So just know we have tons of resources for you in the ConnectWise University.
Indeed. And I love the university. I think our partners are all so appreciative. I know I am. It is a great resource. So if you or people in your organization aren't leveraging it, this is another thing we're strongly encouraging you to check out because there's just so much knowledge out there and so much resources you can lean on as you're implementing all the new things. And I know that was a ton of innovation and a ton of resources, but we hope that you are excited about these innovations and have the resources you need to implement them. We really, really appreciate you joining us today, and we cannot wait to see you next quarter to recap Q2. I hope you have a great day.